This is the Edexcel higher tier paper 2 calculator paper from November 2023. Question 1 is expand and simplify. So we're just going to expand the brackets, multiply the term outside the brackets by both the terms inside the brackets. So 3 times 2y is 6y. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. 7 times y is 7y. And 7 times 2 is 14. So we've expanded. Now we simplify. So collect the like terms. We have 6y plus 7y. And that makes 13y. Then we have negative 15 plus 14. So negative 15 plus 14 is negative 1. So we've got 13y minus 1. Part B, factorize fully. So what can we take out of these two terms? 6 and 15 are both in the 3 times table. So 3 can come out, and 3 is the biggest times table that 6 and 15 are both in. And they've also both got an x in them. So we can take 3x outside the brackets. So 3x times something makes 6x squared. 3 times 2 makes 6. And x times x makes the x squared. 3x times something makes 15x. That's 5. So we've got 3x times 2x plus 5. And part C, make g the subject of the formula. That means get g by itself. So we're going to take 11 away from both sides. So f minus 11 equals 3g. Then divide both sides by 3, g will be by itself. So f minus 11 over 3 is equal to g. So g equals f minus 11 over 3. Question 2. Karen is organising a party for a charity. She spends £100 on food, £120 on a hall, £80 on a DJ. Karen sells 54 tickets for the party. Each ticket costs £7.50. Work out the percentage profit that Karen makes for the charity. So we need to work out how much she spends and how much she makes. So if we work out how much she spends, that's 100 plus 120 plus 80. So she spends £300. How much does she make? So 54 tickets at £7.50 each. So 54, £7.50s. That's £405. So now we can work out her profit. Her profit is the income minus the expenditure. So the profit is 405. Take away 300, that's £105 profit. We want the percentage profit. So percentage change is change over original times 100. Percentage profit is the same thing. So the profit over the original, how much is spent, times 100. So it's the same as a percentage change. It's the change over the original times 100. So 105 over 300 times 100. And that is 35%. So that is our answer. Question 3. Andrew invests £4,500 in a savings account for 2 years. The account pays compound interest at a rate of 3.4% per year. Calculate how much Andrew has in this savings account at the end of the 2 years. So compound interest, we've got 4,500 to start with. We're going to add on 3.4% the first year, and then add on 3.4% again to that new amount for the second year. But we can do it in one calculation. So to add on 3.4% in one calculation, 100% plus 3.4% is 103.4%. So to add it on in one calculation, we times by 103.4%, or as a decimal, 1.034. We want to do it for 2 years, so it's times 1.034 for the first year, and then times 1.034 again for the second year. So we can write that as times 1.034 squared. And then we just need to type it into the calculator, and we get £4,811.20. Question 4, solve. So find out what x is. 5x minus 14 equals 52 minus x. Let's start by adding x to both sides. So we get 6x minus 14 equals 52, plus 14 to both sides. So 6x is 66, and divide both sides by 6. X is 11. Chris, Debbie and Errol share some money in the ratio 3 to 4 to 2. Debbie gets £120. So let's work out how much they each get. There's a second part to the question, but we're going to need to work out the first part first. So we've got the ratio 3 parts to 4 parts to 2 parts. And Debbie gets £120. So it's Chris, Debbie, and Errol. So Debbie gets £120, and she gets 4 parts. So we can work out the size of one part. 120 divided by 4 is 30. So that means each part is 30, and each part is equal. So Chris has 3 30s, Debbie has 4 30s, and Errol has 2 30s. Chris then gives some of his share to Debbie and some of his share to Errol. The money that Chris, Debbie, and Errol have is now in the ratio 2 to 5 to 3. How much did Chris give to Errol? So to share the money in the new ratio, we need to work out how much money we've got. So we have 9 parts, 9 in total. They're each £30. So 9 3s are 27, 9 30s are 270. So that's the total amount of money. Chris has got 90, Debbie 120, Errol 60. That adds up to 270. So we need to share that in the ratio 2 to 5 to 3. So 2 to 5 to 3. I'll draw them out. So 2 to 5 to 3. That's 10 parts. 2 to 5 to 3 is 10 parts. So 270 divided by 10 is 27. That means each box is £27. So how much do they have now? We've got Chris, Debbie, and Errol. Chris has got 2 27s, which is 54. Debbie's got 5 27s, which is 135. And Errol's got 3 27s, which is 81. What's the question? How much money did Chris give to Errol? So Errol had £60. And now Errol's got £81. 81 take away 60 is £21. So Errol's got another £21. So Chris must have given Errol £21. Question 6. The bearing of port B from port A is 147 degrees. Work out the bearing of port A from port B. So we've got two ports. We've got port A. I'm going to draw north lines here, that's why they're lines. And port B, let's have it over here. So I've got port A here, port A here, and port B here. So that's A and B. These are north lines. And I'll join up A and B as well. So the bearing of B from A, that's this angle, going to B from A, is 147 degrees. Work out the bearing of A from B. So we want to get to A from B, and a bearing is always measured from north. Helping work it out, well, we can work out this angle, which is a co-interior angle. So if you walked down one north line, along this straight line and back up, you would have turned around 180 degrees. So co-interior angles always add up to 180 degrees. So 180 take away 147. It's going to give us 33 degrees. And then we can find the bearing, which is from north, so all of this way round, by doing 360, take away 33. Angles around a point add up to 360 degrees. So 360 take away 33 is 327 degrees. Question 7. The diagram shows an empty tank in the shape of a cylinder. We've got a radius of 15, height of 43. Water flows into the tank at a rate of 0.47 litres per minute. How many minutes does it take to fill the tank? So we need to work out the volume. So the volume of a cylinder is the area of the base, area of the cross section, which is pi r squared, the area of a circle, times the height. So the volume is pi r squared h. So we have pi times 15 squared times 43. So pi times 15 squared times 43 is 9,675 pi. As a decimal, that's 30,395 centimeters cubed. Water flows into the tank at a rate of 0.47 litres per minute. So we've got a volume in centimeters cubed, and water flows in at 0.47 litres per minute. So we need to change centimeters cubed into litres. 1,000 centimeters cubed is the same as 1 litre. So if we divide by 1,000, we can change our answer into litres. So that's going to be 30.395 litres. So 0.47 litres per minute. So divide our answer by 0.47. How many 0.47s do we need to make up the volume? And that is, to the nearest minute, will be 65 minutes. So 65 minutes to the nearest minute. Question 8. The number x is written correct to two significant figures. The result is 1.9. Complete the error interval. So we've got 1.9. The next one up is 2.0. And the one down is 1.8. So to be rounded to 1.9, it must be in between the two midpoints, 1.85 and 1.95. And we can see it can equal 1.85, but it can't equal 1.95. Question 9, expand and simplify. So we've got triple brackets. We're just going to start by expanding 2 of them. Collect the like terms. So negative 2 plus 7 is 5. So we've got x squared plus 5x minus 14 times x plus 3. So now we're going to times it by the last bracket. So I'm going to do x squared times both the terms in the bracket, 5x times both the terms, then negative 14 times both of the terms in the second bracket. So x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 3, 3x squared. Now 5x times them both. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 3, 15x. Negative 14 times x is negative 14x. And negative 14 times 3 is negative 42. Collect the like terms. So we've got 1x cubed. We've got 3 plus 5, so 8x squareds. 15 take away 14, so 1x, and minus 42 on the end. So that is our answer. X cubed plus 8x squared plus x minus 42. Shakir has to complete 2 tests. He can either pass or fail each test. The probability he will pass the first test is 0.87. So the probability he will fail it is 0.13, because the probabilities have to add up to 1. If he passes the first test, the probability he will pass the second test is 0.94, which means the probability he won't is 0.06, again, because the probabilities have to add up to 1. If he fails the first test, the probability he passes the second one is 0.73. 1 minus 0.73 is 0.27. So complete the tree diagram, we've done that, and work out the probability Shakir passes at least one of the tests. So we could work out pass by doing 0.87 times 0.94, pass fail, 0.87 times 0.06, and fail pass, 0.13 times 0.73, and add them all up. But we could also do the probability of him failing both, which is 0.13 times 0.27. That is 0.0351. And then the probability of him passing at least one is going to be 1 minus that, because all the probabilities have to add up to 1. So he can only pass fail, fail pass, or fail fail. So anything other than failing both. So 1 minus answer is 0.9649. Question 11, we've got some graphs. And the graphs of y against x represent 4 different types of proportionality. Match each type with, in the table, with the correct graph. So we can see A is a straight line graph. That's y equals kx. Y is proportional to x. So y equals kx. Y is proportional to x. It's a straight line graph. The x squared one, y equals kx squared. Y is proportional to x squared. It's going to be a normal x squared graph, which is graph D. Y equals k over x. That's the graph of y equals 1 over x. That's graph B that takes that shape. And the last one is our square root x graph, which is graph C. Question 12. A is the point with coordinates 7, 13. B is the point with coordinates -3, 21. C is the point with coordinates 15, 23. M is the midpoint of AB. N is the midpoint of BC. Work out the distance between M and N. Let's find out where M and N are. So the middle of AB, so halfway between the x's. So 7, halfway between 7 and -3. 7 and -3 add up to make 4. Half of 4 is 2. So the middle of 7 and -3 is 2. 13 and 21, what's halfway? So add them up, which is 34. And then half of it, 17. To find the middle of two coordinates, we can add the x's and half them, and add the y's and half it. So it's 7 plus -3 over 2, 13 plus 21 over 2. And for n, we do the same thing. So between -3 and 15, -3 plus 15 over 2, and between 21 and 23, 21 plus 23 over 2. So 15 take away 3 is 12, half of that is 6, and halfway between 21 and 23 is definitely 22. So we have M and N, now we need to work out the distance. So this is a Pythagoras question. We've got M at 217, and then N over here somewhere at 622. So we can draw a right angle triangle. So how far have we moved along the x? From 2 to 6 is 4 spaces. And on the y, we've gone from 17 up to 22. That's 5 spaces. So we've gone along 4, up 5. What's the distance? So the distance between them is the hypotenuse. So we're going to use Pythagoras. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 4 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. So 4 squared plus 5 squared is 41. So x squared is 41. X is the square root of 41. And that is 6.40. 6.4 to 1 decimal place. Question 13. Prove algebraically that 0.0723 recurring can be written as 241 over 3,330. So I'm going to start with 0.0723 recurring, and I'll call that x. I'm going to multiply that by 10 to get my recurring bit by itself. So 0.723 recurring is 10x. I want something else that ends in 723 recurring. So that's 0.723, 723, 723, 723, 723, and so on. Something else that ends in that. And I'm going to have to times it by 1,000. So 10 times 1,000 is going to be 10,000. So I'm going to have 10,000 x's, which would be 723.723 recurring. Now I can use that to eliminate my recurring part. If I do my 10,000 x's, take away 10 x's, 10,000 of x, take away 10 of x, will be 9,990 x's, and 723.723 Take away 0.723723 is just 723. So we can get x by itself by dividing both sides by 9,990. So 723 over 9,990. And then all we've got to do is divide top and bottom by 3, and we get 241 over 3,330. Question 14. Y is proportional to x squared. So that means y equals k times x squared. Y is 3 when x is 0.5. So we can find this k, the missing number, the unknown. So 3 equals k times 0.5 squared. K will be 3 divided by 0.5 squared. So 12. K is 12. So that means y is 12 x squared. And then x is inversely proportional to w. So x equals k divided by w. So directly proportional is k times, inversely proportional, k divide. X is 2 when w is 0.2. So k is 2 0.2s, 0.4. So x is 0.4 over w. Find the value of y when w equals 2. So all we've got to do, substitute 2 into our w formula. So x is 0.4 over 2, which is 0.2. So when w equals 2, x is 0.2, and then we put that into our top formula. Y is 12 times 0.2 squared. 12 times 0.2 squared is 12 25ths, or 0.48. So that's our answer. Question 15. The incomplete table and the incomplete histogram give information about the times taken by some students to run a race. So we've got part of a table, part of a histogram. No students had a time of less than 10 or more than 26. Use the histogram to complete the table and the table to complete the histogram. So let's start with something we know both of. Let's use the 12 to 16. So we know there's a frequency of 10. So this bar has an area of 10. And the 16 to 19 has an area of 15. So in a histogram, the frequency is the area. And up the side, we've got frequency density. So the class width, so this one's got a base of 4. Got a base of 4. Our 16 to 19, that's 3. And our 10 to 12 has got a base of 2. So the frequency density is frequency divided by class width. So 4 times what makes 10? That's 2.5. This is 2.5, which means it's 2, 1, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got our scale up the side. So to complete the table, we need the frequency. So it's 2 times 1.5. So the base times the height, 2 times 1.5, and that is 3. Now we need to complete the histogram. So for 19 to 21, we've got an area of 9. The width is 2 from 19 to 21 is 2. So the frequency density, frequency divided by class width, 9 over 2, 4.5. And for the last one, we've got a width of 5. 7 over 5 is 7/5, or 14 over 10, 1.4. So let's just draw them on. So 19 to 21 has got a height of 4.5. And 21 to 26, a height of 1.4. So that is our histogram. The histogram below gives information about the times taken by 43 students to run a different race. Work out an estimate for the median of the times taken by these 43 students to run the race. So the median is the middle number, so we're looking to split it in half. So let's work out the frequencies of each of the bars and figure out where halfway is. So we have a base of 2 and a height of 2. That's 4 students. A base of 4 and a height of 2. That's 8 students. A base of 4 again and a height of 4. That's 16. A base of 2 and a height of 6.5. That's 13. And a base of 4 and a height of 0.5. That's 2 students. So where's the halfway? So 43 students. Let's just check we've got 43 students. $43. So we're looking to half 43. Half of 43 is 21.5. So 43 over 2 is 21.5. So where is that? Where's the 21.5? So we're looking for the 21.5th student. So we're going to go, we've got 4 in the first box, then 8, so 12 up to there. So it's going to be in our 16 to 20 group. We want to go 21.5 minus the first 12 students. So that's 9.5 students into the 16 box. So 9.5 divided by 16. We want to go 59%, 0.59 or 19 over 32 into that box. It's 4 wide from 16 to 20. It's 4 wide. So if we times by 4, we're going to go 2.375 into that box. So we're 16 here, plus the 2.375 gets us to 18.375. So we did 21.5 minus the first 12 students. So we went 9.5 students into the 16 box. It was 16 students in there. So 9.5 over 16 times by the width times by 4. 2.375. 2.375 into the box. And 16 plus 2.375 is 18.375. Question 16. ABCD is a trapezium. So we've got a set of parallel lines. AD is parallel to BC. Calculate the area of BCD, the triangle BCD. So we've got alternate angles. So we have a 42-degree angle here. And we can use angles in a triangle to find this angle, the missing angle. So 180, take away 112, and 42 is 26. We didn't really need that because we're going to use the sine rule to find this length here. So we're going to have this one as x, and we'll call it little a, big B, little b. So our sine rule for a length is a over sine a equals b over sine b. So that's going to be x over sine 112 equals 7.9 over sine 42. So to get x by itself, we're going to times both sides by sine 112. (7.9) over sine 42 times sine 112 gets us to 10.95. So x is 10.95. So that is this length here. We want the area of the triangle, so we're going to use half AB sine C. So area is equal to half AB sine C. So in this case, we're going to have A, B, and big C. So it's 10.95, 15.3, 42. So half of 10.95 times 15.3 sine 42. And type it into the calculator, and we get our answer. So it's half times A, B, sine C. And we get 56.0 centimeters squared. Question 17a, show that the equation x cubed plus 2x minus 6 equals 0 has a solution between 1 and 2. So if it has a solution between 1 and 2, so on a graph, the solution is where it crosses the x-axis. If it's got a solution between 1 and 2, it's going to be positive on one side and negative on the other side. So if we do 1 cubed plus 2 1s take away 6, we get negative 3. If we do 2 cubed plus 2 2s take away 6, we get 6. So we've got a change of sign, therefore a solution between 1 and 2. Show that the equation can be rearranged to give x equals 6 over x squared plus 2. So we're just doing some rearranging. We're going to plus 6 to both sides. And then factorize out an x. So x times x squared plus 2 equals 6. Divide both sides by x squared plus 2. X is 6 over x squared plus 2. Starting with x0 as 0.45, use the iteration formula twice to find an estimate for the solution. Give your answer correct to 4 decimal places. So x1, our first estimate, is going to be 6 over 1.45, our x0, squared plus 2. So we have 6. Actually, let's type 1.45 into the calculator. So it's our answer button. And then we'll do 6 over answer squared plus 2. And that's 1.4625. And then for x2, we can have 6 over our answer squared plus 2. So I'm just going to press equals again, and we get 1.4496. Question 18. ABCD is a quadrilateral. E, F, G, and H are the midpoints. A to H is called A. A to E is B. And D to G is C. Prove using vectors that EFGH, so the shape made from the midpoints, is a parallelogram. So it should have the two opposite sides should be the same, equal and parallel. So we're just going to have to work things out. So let's use the midpoints to, so if A to H is called A, H to D is also A, and we'll also have a C and a B for the other half of the line. We don't have anything for B to C, so I'm going to work out B to C. So it's minus 2B plus 2A and plus 2C. So B to F is half of that. So A plus C minus B. And F to C is also A plus C minus B. So we're going to work out the lengths of the parallelogram. So let's go from E to H. To go from E to H minus B plus A. From H to G, we're going to go A plus C. From F to G, it's going to be A plus C minus B minus C. A plus C minus B minus a C, which simplifies to A minus B, or minus B plus A, so it's the same as EH. And H to G, so E to F is the other one. E to F, it should be the same as H to G, so it's B plus A plus C minus B. So B minus B is nothing, so it's just A plus C. So we can see that G to H is the same as E to F, and E to H is the same as F to G. So I'll just write that as a conclusion. E to H equals F to G, and H to G equals E to F, therefore it's a parallelogram. The functions f and g are such that, so f of x is 2x plus 3 squared, g of x is 2x minus 1. Find gf of negative 3. So we're going to put negative 3 into f, and then we're going to put that answer into g. So negative 3 into f first, f of negative 3. That's 2 negative 3's plus 3 squared. So 2 negative 3's plus 3 squared is going to give us 9. So we're going to put 9 into G. So G of 9 is going to be 2 9's, take away 1, which is 17. Find the inverse function of G, the opposite function of G. So our G function, I'm just going to write this out as a function machine. So our G function, you put in x, you multiply it by 2, and then you take away 1. The opposite function to that would be going backwards. So you would add 1 and then divide by 2. So it's x plus 1 divided by 2. So that's the function that undoes the G function. So if you put 10 into G, you get 19 out. So you should be able to put 19 into the inverse function and get 10 out. So 19 plus 1 is 20, over 2 is 10. Question 20. Write this algebraic fraction in the form ax plus b over cx plus d, where a, b, c, and d are integers. So when we divide a fraction, we can, instead of dividing, we can multiply by its reciprocal. So change it to a times and flip over the fraction. I will do that first. I'm also going to factorize 3x minus 21. So I'm going to change it into 3 times x minus 7. I've then got plus x plus 4. I'm going to change it to a times, and I'm flipping over this fraction. So I've got 2x squared minus 6x minus 56, but I want to factorize. I'm going to factorize out a 2 first. I don't really want to write it all out again. So I'm going to write 2 times x squared minus 3x minus 28. Then I'll factorize x squared minus 3x minus 28. What multiplies to give a 28 and adds to give a negative 3, multiplies to make a negative 28 and adds to make a negative 3. It's 7 times 4 with a minus 7 and a plus 4. So now I'm going to write it out again. So I've got x plus 4 times 2x plus 3 over 2 times x minus 7 times x plus 4. I can multiply x plus 4 by my fraction by thinking of it as x plus 4 over 1, just times the top times the bottom. So I've got 14 over 3 times x minus 7 still, plus x plus 4 times 2x plus 3 over 2 times x minus 7 times x plus 4. With a fraction, if we divide top and bottom by the same thing, it stays equivalent, it stays the same. So divide top and bottom by x plus 4. And then we have 14 over 3 times x minus 7 plus 2x plus 3 over 2 times x minus 7. To add fractions, we need our denominators to be the same, and we can get them the same by timesing top and bottom of the first fraction by 2 and top and bottom of the second fraction by 3, which will be 28 over 6 times x minus 7 plus 6x plus 9 over 6 times x minus 7. So the denominators are the same. We can add the fractions. So we've got 6 times x minus 7 on the bottom. We've got 6x plus 9 plus 28, which is 37 on the top. And to get it in the form we wanted, all we have to do is expand the bracket. So we've got 6x plus 37 over 6x minus 42. And question 21. Vicky has a collection of medals. The Venn diagram gives information about the number of medals in her collection. So everything is all the medals. And then A is English medals, B is gold medals. Vicky is going to take, at random, a medal from her collection, given that the model is gold. So given that it's in B, the probability it's English is 2/11. Work out the number of medals in Vicky's collection. So given that the medal is gold, so given that it's in B, the probability of it being English, which is in this part, is 2/11. So x out of B in total, which is x plus 5x minus 3, 6x minus 3, is 2/11. So given that it's gold, the probability it's English, which is x over 6x minus 3, is 2/11. So if we solve this, we'll be able to find x, and therefore the total number of medals. So times both sides by 11, and times both sides by 6x minus 3. So 11x equals 12x minus 6. Take away 11x from both sides, add 6 to both sides. X is 6. So if x is 6, we have 7x minus 11. 7 sixes minus 11, which is 31. We have 5x take away 3. So 5 sixes take away 3 is 27. So our total amount, we've got 31, we've got 27, we have 6, and 34. So 31, 27, 6, and 34 adds up to make 98.